Is your pup not potty trained? And does your frustration look something like this? Don't worry, I got you. I'm gonna help you get your mental status to something like this. Hello everyone, welcome to Pet Experts. I'm Sonamar, a final year veterinary student. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a topic that I have been requested for many times. I get phone calls for it, I get Insta messages to help me out with this issue. It's going to be potty training. I'm going to help you and make you go through a number of steps that are going to really help in training your dog. But before we get into that, please hit the subscribe button and don't forget to press the bell icon. So let's get started. Potty training is something that is of the most importance when you get a puppy. In fact, it's the very first thing that we start working on with our puppies. You should give it a lot of attention, but it's not a big thing. You don't need to be afraid of it. It could be done very easily. For that, I have divided the whole process into 4 steps, and let's get to it. Buy a crate, or some people might call it a cage. But keep in mind, we're in no ways trying to promote keeping your puppy in a cage or crate the whole time, but it's important to teach them when and where to pass their stool. So the size of the cage or crate shouldn't be too big, but it should be big enough so that your puppy could lay in it, move around comfortably, and stand without his ears touching the cage. In addition to it, there should be some space for putting a bowl into it for water. So these are the basic dimensions that you need to keep in mind before buying a cage. The second step is the question of when to take your pup outside. This could be really confusing. So whenever you feed your puppy, whenever he's done eating his food, pick him up and take him to the place where you want him to pass his poop or pass urine. But keep in mind, we're not going to walk him because there are chances of accidents on the way that he can pass urine or feces wherever he wants. So pick him up, take him outside, leave him on the place where you want him to relieve himself. Give him time, keep an eye on him, but do not play with him. Do not give him extra attention, or else his mind would get diverted. Once he has passed the feces, this could take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, or even 20 minutes. Praise him, pat him, but be sure not to be too excited because that might give an opposite message to the puppy. He or she might end up being scared. So keep your voice low, be like, good boy, good girl, right? And once it's done, pick him up or maybe walk him back in. Within a day or two, you would start noticing the pattern, like how long your pup takes. Some pups take 5 minutes, some pups take 10 minutes. Accordingly, plan when are you going to take them outside after feeding. The next step is to never leave your puppy unattended. By that I mean whenever he's playing around in the room or somewhere, you have to be next to them. Because puppies have a typical behavior before passing urine or stool that you'll start noticing after a few days. What they do, they start to move in circles and sniff everything around them. Once you see your pup doing that, don't waste time. Pick up the pup and move to the place where you want them to pass urine or feces. Because once the accident has happened, that is, they have defecated or urinated, there's nothing we can do to correct it. There's no point in scolding them or being like, hey, what did you do? There's no point of that. So it's better to act before. Be aware. The last but not least is whenever your puppy's unsupervised, maybe you have to go take a shower, or maybe you have to go grab a few groceries or whatever. Basically, whenever he's unsupervised, that you're not next to him, or maybe a family member is not there, you have to keep him in a crate. Because as I mentioned in the previous step, if he's open, he can just urinate anywhere he wants. But when he's in a crate, there's a natural instinct of keeping their own house very clean. So you'll have to adopt this for a few months, and then slowly and steadily the pup would get used to it. So this also links to the first point where I said don't get the cage that's too big. The reason for that is if suppose you need a 2x2 crate, but you end up buying a 5x2 crate, what's gonna happen is your puppy is just gonna consider one of the corners to be his house, and he's gonna keep that corner clean, but go to the other corner to urinate and defecate. At last, keep in mind, guys, potty training is not hard, but patience is the key and consistency. So don't think it's gonna happen overnight. It's gonna take time. Another thing to keep in mind is that pup is going to learn to defecate at the right place before learning to urinate at the right place. And there's basically a biological reason behind that, and that is that the urinary bladder muscles are not fully developed as compared to an adult, so they have a hard time controlling it, and they're gonna urinate repeatedly. So don't get frustrated. Stay consistent and put your full efforts. And if you have any questions, you can ask me on Instagram. The username is right over here. That was all for today, guys. Leave your reviews in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. See you soon.